Hi, my name is Lisa Robyn Wood and I'm the founder of Grip Corporate Coaching, performance coaching and training for leaders, individuals and managers in London and Oxfordshire. In this little video today, I'm going to be talking about mental fatigue. So in previous videos that I've shared here recently, I've been talking about motivation and engagement at this really challenging time when we're in the third lockdown in the UK. And we've started a new year in very much the same way, sadly, as we concluded the previous. It's times like this when motivating ourselves and staying engaged can be more challenging than ever. Recently, in the Coaching Culture magazine, they featured an article written by Amy Brann from Synaptic Potential, who was writing about mental fatigue. So mental fatigue, what is it? It is a psychobiological state that is triggered from mentally demanding activity that has been experienced for a sustained period of time. The symptoms of it is tiredness, a lack of energy, and you're more likely to make mistakes and have slow reactions. Essentially as well, that means that you will have a slower reaction to issues, and actually you're more likely to be creating those issues yourself. Also, you may suffer from emotional issues, you may become more emotional, a bit more sensitive to emotion, all of which can lead to what we know as burnout. So when you have mental fatigue, you have trouble engaging, and ultimately you'll have trouble therefore motivating yourself. What they believe is that fatigue in your body is essentially a stop emotion. So it's there to protect you and ensure that actually you get the rest that ultimately you need. But we want to avoid that altogether, and we never want to be in a situation where individuals are experiencing mental fatigue. I think at this stage of the lockdown, having experienced 2 previous lockdowns, having had such a dramatic change to our working experience in 2020, mental fatigue is a real risk for many of us. I think it's understanding how do we stop this from happening. So when I was thinking about this, I broke it down into 3 different stages. And I think we'll look at it from business and culture, manager and the role that they play, and then individually how we can protect ourselves. So if we start from business and culture, having an environment which feeds long working periods, long relentless working periods, and creates this culture of celebrating success based on hours worked is really dangerous. So I think as a business owner and a head of business, it's really looking at the culture that you are developing and growing with your organisation, and ensuring that actually the culture nurtures and celebrates people resting. So I think it's encouraging periods of rest. I think actually as well it's about talking about mental fatigue, enabling people to be aware that it exists and the symptoms of such a condition, so people can watch out for it both in themselves and each other. I think it's about being really clear about objectives and priorities. I think mental fatigue can come about when individuals are working constantly and not necessarily working in a smart way to recognise what is priority, what needs to be done right now, what can I pause, what can I stop altogether. So I think as a business, it's creating a culture of really clear objectives and priorities and embedding that in all communication. So everyone is really clear about what is most important at any given time. I think it's then being really clear about reward, because I think when you're clear about what you're working towards, that in itself, as I've spoken about before, is so important for motivating and energising individuals. I think it's also recognising when something ends as a finishing point. So when you get to that finish line, what does that look like? And the reward can help. So that's what I think is so important for organisations to be thinking about. I think as a manager, linking to the point about culture and growing a culture of openness and talking about mental fatigue, as a manager to support that, it's about then having those regular conversations with the people that you manage and bringing the subject to the fore. So checking in with people, seeing how people are feeling, being aware of the symptoms of mental fatigue, as I've discussed, and being able to spot those in individuals and raising their awareness to it and helping to create interventions to ensure people have rest. I think it's about creating a balance between work activity and fun. Obviously, trying to have fun at the moment when we're all working from home is a challenge. We're going to have to be a bit more creative about what we do when we can't get together in groups, when we can't see each other, when we're not able to travel. But I think it's creating non-work activity within the week and bringing people together to have a little bit of fun and create that respite, that break. I think linking again to having clear business objectives and priorities and culture is about then using that at a top macro business level to create micro targets for yourself and for your team, so it's really clear, and then managing individuals' expectations to that. So again, that then helps to encourage people to prioritise their time and then also create realistic timelines around that. So what you're not doing is putting people under pressure to do more work than is necessary in short, intense periods of time. I think then looking at individuals, how to manage yourself and prevent mental fatigue, it's ensuring that you are using that direction from your manager, from the business, to create your own priorities and specific goals. It's about being really conscious about taking breaks and protecting those and ensuring you are taking them when that space is being given, both for lunch, in the afternoon, in the morning, and knowing when to stop working in the evening as well. And then being really invested in your rest time. So ensuring that you are taking the time to rest and rest in earnest. So not having your phone near you, not having your laptop near you, not being able to hear notifications, but recognising actually how to turn all technology off and taking a break. Technology that I mean that relates to work, not necessarily fun. Getting out, getting fresh air, and also getting great sleep and prioritising sleep as well. If you want to learn more about this particular subject or further support around coaching and training, then visit my website, gripcoaching.co.uk.